Okay, I have my strips all cut and ready to go for the rail fence, and I have them arranged in the order that I'm going to be sewing them. I'm going from the lightest to darkest. We're going to sew these 1/4 inch seams. Now when you're sewing something this long, as you're sewing, be careful not to stretch one piece or the other. You're going to lay it down carefully on top of each other and just let the machine do the work to pull the fabric through under the needle. As you sew each one, you can press the seam again towards the dark. That would probably be easier instead of sewing them all and then having to press all the seams at the same time. But as you add each seam, as you add each strip, you're going to press the seam towards the darker color. We're now going to trim 1/4 inch off of the top and the bottom edges of your strip set. And I just have the sample put together so it fits under the camera. So we're going to line this edge up at 5 1/4 so that we can trim off the 1/4 inch from that one side. And now I'm going to turn this, and the end result is going to be 5 inches. So now I'm going to line up my 5 inch along the edge of the fabric and cut off the remainder. We're going to be cutting our entire strip set into 5 inch squares now that we've got that squared off. So start at either end, and if your end is not totally perfectly even, you can just cut off a small bit just to square it up. And so now I'm going to take my ruler, find my 5 inches, and I'm going to cut 5 inches off. And if you like, you can, I'm lining up my 5 inches with the edge of my fabric, and you can always line it up at the bottom as well to make sure that you have everything square. And cut that off, and we will end up with 4 pieces, 4 strips, 4 little blocks of the strip set. This kind of making a strip set and subcutting is a very common thing. You'll find that quite often in a lot of patterns. And you'll see that I've got a piece left over, which was the plan, so it gave us room to make errors. Now we're going to arrange our rail fence. So we can either arrange it so that the dark is in the middle, or we can arrange it so that the white strip is in the middle to make that cross in the middle. I can't decide which way I'm going to do it. Once you've decided which way you're going to do, you're going to sew these 2 pieces together, sew those 2 pieces together, press the seams in either direction, and then you will join those 2 sections together, press the seam in either direction, and then your block is finished.